Hey everyone, my name is Diamond Alexander, and my project was on understanding domestic violence. Before I start this video, I did ask the person that I interviewed to talk about their story, like give them permission for it, and she told me that I can talk about it, but like just not say her name and the job's name that we work at. So I'm just gonna like make up a name. I'm just gonna say Sarah, and I'm gonna just talk about it a little bit about her, my interviewing her and her dealing with like domestic violence and things like that. And from this, like growing up, like domestic violence wasn't really a thing to us. Like we didn't really hear about it till like middle school, early high school, like seeing it on social media and then on TV. So it wasn't really a thing. But then on like October 28th, 2022, I worked at a movie theater. We had an active shooter that actually shot three people, not killed them, at a car shop that was locally by us in our city. The police was looking for him, and it actually turned out that he had made it to the store that was right beside us. And so my manager, she immediately locked the doors, and we were on lockdown. And then about 30 minutes later, my manager's ex, he came banging on the door, right? He told us to open the door. He threatened us. He said, we don't open the door, he's going to shoot in the building. We were all scared. She told us to not call the police, to open the door, don't do nothing. Then he'll go away. He eventually went away. Okay, and she had told us that he had like abused her in the past, physically abused her, mentally abused her, verbally abused her. They had fought before. And so it was this whole big thing. So actually on November 10th of 2023 at 10:15 p.m., I actually called her, and I wanted to basically not necessarily have an interview with her, basically like conversate with her and talk about her challenges with domestic violence, right? And she started off, with tears, and she was thankful that I wanted to listen to her because people in the past listened and they had judged her because she stayed with him, and I just didn't want to be that person to judge her. And she was telling me some of the things that he did, and he just did some outrageous things. So he like threw rubbing alcohol in her face and it got in her eyes. He stumped her in the head with his boots. He like punched her in the head, punched her in the eye, gave her eye pains, black eye, headaches, all types of things, and it just like tormented her mental health. And she had told me that they had fought before, but this instance it was just a lot. It was really deep, right? And crazy thing, she stayed with him. She thought that was her person. Yeah. And I just wanted to ask her any like more questions, but the conversation only lasted 19 minutes because she had to go back to work. So I said, okay. So the next day I called her back again. We picked up the conversation. And so, we said, hey, how you doing? And I said, well, why did you stay? She told me she stayed because he actually threatened her that if she left him, he was going to end her life. And she also thought that that was her person, like for life. They were like soul ties type of thing. And that just like made me tear up because seeing like your manager, that's somebody that you hold to a high degree, go through these things and just she having a smile, you wouldn't know it, right? And then she told me even more about their past and the violence and everything that she's been through with him, the cheating, and just there's a whole bunch of stuff, right? And so I asked her, I was like, so I know that y'all are not together anymore. He's actually in jail right now. Like, what was your breaking point? What made you leave? And she said, basically, I just don't want my goddaughter to grow up without me, right? And I want better for myself. She said, I'm 26 years old. This is not good for me. And I just like agreed to her. And I thank her for being vulnerable and for being true and to like just telling her truth to me, somebody that is years below her. I'm 18 years old, and it was just great that somebody that's older than me could be vulnerable with me, because we don't really see that a lot because people don't really take younger people serious in that sense. And so I was like, if you can give advice to anybody in this world that's going through these situations or has been through it. And she said basically she said never let a person take away your freedom, your voice, and yourself. And that was just a great thing, right? And then I thanked her again for being vulnerable. And I also encouraged her to tell her story to more people. But she told me that, it will take time, but she will do it. And I was just thankful for that. And that was my project on basically domestic violence, interviewing a person that has been through it and has gone through the bad. I'm not going to really say good and the bad, but the bad of it. And I'm glad that she's out of the situation. And I thank y'all for listening.